Hello again. Welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and in this class, we're going to be learning idioms again. Hopefully, we will anyway. We'll be looking at some basic vocabulary to talk about liquid, water, verbs, and adjectives and nouns that have to do with liquid and water, and then we're going to use those words to introduce idioms that talk about water and people and so forth. We're going to be learning these idioms by doing some exercises together, fill in the blank, mix and match, so forth. As always, when I do idioms classes, I will attempt to explain related idioms, similar idioms with the same meaning, and also I will attempt to explain how and when these are used. The funny thing about idioms is they're used under certain circumstances quite often. I'll try to make that a little clearer, and hopefully the examples we'll be doing will help me out with that. And as always, I encourage anyone in the class, don't be shy. If you have similar idioms in your native language, either extremely similar to the same idiom or even different idiom but has the same meaning, I always enjoy hearing those. So please don't be shy and go ahead and share those with me. Okay, let me say hello to Roger. Welcome, Roger.
Hey, teacher. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Nice to have you aboard. And Minor, welcome to the class. Hey there.
Thank you, teacher.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, I'm sure others will probably be joining us, but why not start here? All right, first thing we're going to look at, I'm going to do a screen share. We're going to look at some literal meanings of watery words. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, some literal meanings of words that have to do with water and liquid. What we're going to do is read the sentence, fill in the blank with one of the bold words up above here to what you think best fits in the blank. So I would like you guys to read the sentence and fill in the blank as we go along. Let me quickly welcome Diego to the class. Hello, Diego.
Okay, hi everyone. Hi, Oakley.
Hi, Diego. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to start off with Roger, please, since you were first in. Sentence number one.
Okay. If you jump into a swimming pool, you make a big. I think it could be a splash.
I think it could be. You jump into a swimming pool, you make a big splash. Roger, do you know how to do a cannonball?
Sorry?
Do you know how to do a cannonball?
Can you write that last word? A cannonball.
Yeah.
No, I guess that cannonball is like when you jump to the swimming pool, but in a proper way with your head straight to the water, something like that.
No. Okay, well, let's talk about a couple dives. Why not? We're learning vocabulary. Okay, you jump into a swimming pool, but you fold your legs and you wrap up into like a fetal position so that you're a big round ball. The idea is to make a giant splash. That's the whole idea. Splash your sister, your girlfriend, or whatever. You jump up in the air very high, or you jump off the diving board, and then you basically sit. You pull your knees together, you wrap your hands around your knees, and you Splash.
Ah, right, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, it's called a cannonball. Right.
It's funny.
It's funny. Yeah, it's fun. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. All right. Number 2, minor. Try number
Okay.
2 for us.
If it is with rain, it means the same as the more common word. Both mean that the rain is very heavy,
Hmm.
but if, if oh, sorry, there are a lot of words that I don't know the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. The rain is very heavy. First of all, these are well, there aren't. There are only 2. Something is well. There's a clue here. Is something another verb? It has to be an ing verb. All right. Uh, okay. Probably the first one. If it is teeming with rain, okay. Teeming means that there's to teem. It means there's a lot of something, a real lot of something. More common word to say when it's the rain is very heavy. It's pouring, probably. Yeah, means the rain is extremely heavy. Minor, do you know any other ways to say that it's raining very, very heavily?
So, stream?
No, no. I was thinking of any other ways. We actually have a lot of ways to describe heavy rain. One of the more common ones say it's raining cats and dogs. Now you got to get this right. If you say it's raining dogs and cats, it sounds weird. Or raining cats with dogs, it sounds strange. You got to get it right. Raining cats and dogs means heavy, heavy rain. I might say it's pouring buckets outside. Also, meaning it's raining very hard. Pouring buckets. Okay. Diego, you want to try number 3?
Yeah. Okay, most of us has a tap at home which has a drip, which we are always. I can see the last part of the screen.
Meaning.
So, yeah, of always meaning to fix but never do.
Yeah. Okay.
The answer is drip.
The answer is drip. Okay.
Drip,
Tap.
yeah.
Right. Tap you is in English, American English, we often say a faucet. Same meaning. You turn the handle or you pull the handle, whatever, and water comes out in your house into the sink. It's a tap or possibly a faucet. Okay. Actually, you should definitely fix that right away because that little drip ends up costing a lot if you pay for your water.
Yeah.
Oops. I had a little technical problems here today. Hang on, give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Get that screen share back up. Hang on. Okay. Okay. A drip is like when the water comes out at that rate, 1 drop at a time. All right, Roger, back to you. Number 4, please.
Okay. Noah built an ark so that he and his family could escape the great flood.
Flood. Right word. Just gonna change your pronunciation slightly. Flood. It's
Flood.
Yeah.
Flood. Okay.
Yes, it's an sound. Flood. Okay. Right. A flood is way, way, way too much water, of course. That overwhelms people. A flood, all right. Flood the streets, flood your home. People can drown in a flood, of course. Diego, number 5.
Okay. Small small streams eventually flow into big rivers.
Yes, they do. Okay. Small streams flow into big rivers. Okay. We have various words for different size rivers, or yeah, well, basically rivers. Stream is very small. A rivulet, okay, is basically tiny, tiny river that you can step across without really any effort whatsoever. Okay, after that we might have a brook. All right, a brook you could probably jump across with one nice jump. Okay, a stream, probably you could walk across on rocks. All right, it's not that deep, it's not that wide. You could probably manage to get across the stream by jumping over rocks, for example. And then you get up to a river, and yeah, you can forget about that. You're going to have to swim or find a bridge or something like that. Somewhere in there is creek. A creek is somewhere similar to a stream, probably. Okay. Roger, back to you. Number 6.
If a small amount of water escapes slowly from your car engine, it drips out.
Well, yeah, you could use drip as a verb. That's absolutely true. Drip can be a noun or a verb. Another word. There's another word here that also means a very small amount of water moving at a time. Any idea, Roger?
No, not really. I don't identify
Okay.
another one.
All right. Would probably be a trickle, which a trickle. Okay, a drip or a drop. A drip or to drip comes in a little bit, one drop at a time. A trickle is like just enough water, barely enough water to make like a stream. Okay, a tiny, tiny, tiniest imaginable stream of water. So it's a little more steady. It's a trickle of water. Okay, Diego, how about number 7?
Okay. Fill your glass to full, and it will overflowing.
It will overflow. Yeah.
Overflow.
We don't need ing.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
this is another word. A lot of these water words, all right, they can be nouns or verbs. Overflow is another one. Could be
You
a
can
verb.
change for use a verb.
Yeah. Well, overflow. You can say an overflow as a noun as well. There was an overflow of water near the bridge. Sure, it can be used as a noun or a verb, just like a trickle or to trickle, a drip, to drip. Right. Okay, Roger, number 8.
It is usually safer to go swimming in the sea when the no, I don't know what.
Okay. Good word to know. Particularly if you're going sailing. When the tide Okay, the tide is the natural movement of the ocean. There's everywhere. There's ocean. There's a low tide and a high tide. The water slowly moves back and forth, in and out. All right, high tide and low tide. Okay. So very common. The tide's coming in. The tide's going out. Common phrases. Diego, how about number 9? I did it again. Sorry.
Okay. 9. A surge of water in the sea sends a large wave forward.
Okay. Surge of water in the water in the sea sends a large wave forward. A surge. Yeah. Okay. A surge is a sudden movement, and we will soon see, I'm sure, that a surge is often, it can be used to talk about water. A storm surge is a common collocation. For example, a storm surge means a sudden, great deal of water. When there's a typhoon or a hurricane, you have a storm surge. It pushes a lot of water onto the beach. That's what it does. It does a lot of damage with typhoons and hurricanes when they come in from the ocean. All right. I did it again. What am I doing? Okay. Geez, okay. 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 Roger, number 10. Last one.
Drop a stone into a pond on a still day and watch the ripples move out to the edges.
That's right. Those round kind of circles that spread out, those are ripples. Okay, ripples in a pond. Okay. Very good. All right.
Oakley, excuse me, I have a question.
Sure.
What's the meaning of pond? Maybe it's a way of tank, maybe?
A pond here?
Yeah.
Okay. A pond, well...
It's like a tank, maybe?
Well, okay. Just like I was talking about rivers. No, not a tank. It's natural. Well, there's plenty of man-made ponds. I can't really say it's natural. It can be natural. It can be man-made. Okay, obviously a puddle. A puddle is very small. It rains and there's a puddle in the street. There's some water that's stuck in the street. That's a puddle. A pond, well, let's see. How big does a pond have to be a pond? I don't know. It can be quite small. As big as maybe one room in a house could be probably considered a pond, although that would be a tiny pond. Sometimes in English we might refer to that as a hole, literally as a hole, even though it's full of water. A pond's usually a bit bigger than that, like the size of a house, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. It can be natural. Of course, there are man-made ponds, like in parks and maybe in the zoo or something like that. But it's a fairly large body of water. It usually, normally a pond is going to have a source. Water will be coming in and water will be going out. All right, because it's fresh water. Otherwise, if there's no exchange of water, it gets all overgrown with vegetation and it becomes more like a swamp. All right. So, and then larger than that, of course, it's debatable. I've seen in the United States, for example, I've seen a pond, one place called a pond, and then another place the same size called a lake. Pond, lake. It's debatable how big it needs to be before it's considered
the American people usually say a pond like a lake, or is a common word, maybe.
Well, a pond's definitely smaller. If it's the size of a
Yeah.
house, or if you can swim across it, it's probably a pond. Okay, let's think of it that way, maybe. But I have definitely seen, Walton's Pond and then another place called Bernard's Lake, and they're the same size.
Yeah, it's like a little swimming pool, maybe.
Well, uh, uh, well, a pool. Well, we can say a pool of water. A pool can be, of course, a swimming pool. Well, we normally say a swimming pool, but you can
Yeah.
say you can use the word pool for in a river when there's an area where the water's deeper and you can jump in or dive in and you can swim around in a pool of water. Uh, okay, a pool of water. I can pour a glass of water on the floor and say, "Oh, sorry, I spilled my water. I left a pool of water on the floor." Obviously, I couldn't dive in that. Obviously not. Yeah. Anyway, pond is fairly large, but can be pretty small. Maybe a little too big to jump across, but you could swim across it. That's a pond.
Yeah.
I guess. All right. Let's now take a look at using some of these words. I'm going to tell a couple little stories here, and we're going to fill in the blanks with some of these words we just learned about with their literal meanings. Let's see if we can translate that to the idiomatic meaning in its little story here. Okay. Diego, go ahead and
Okay.
read until you get to a fill in the blank here.
Until which part?
Until about here.
With people.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I go to watch my football team, Manchester United. Whenever I can. I love the atmosphere. Kickoff is usually 3 o'clock, but by 1:30, the whole area around the stadium is overflowing with people.
Okay. And yes, I like that choice. Overflowing with people. I could also say teeming with people. Overflowing, of course, would mean there's too much. Like when water overflows, there's too much. It's possible, definitely possible, absolutely. Or the word teeming has to do with there's a lot of people, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
activity. I don't know. I think of teeming, and I imagine like an ant's nest with all the ants or army ants. Okay, the forest floor was teeming with army ants. There's just so many. They're crawling over each other, and there's just you can't even count them because they're all moving, and there's motion, and there's just too many. Okay, so either one I think could work here. Actually,
It could be the two words. So.
it could be either. Right. Okay, Roger from here. Roger, are
Okay.
you right there? Okay.
The local pubs are teeming with people having their drinks outside on the pavement.
Yeah, okay. So probably the first one is teeming with people. Now, because the pubs, people, they don't have room to even be inside. All right, the people, okay, here's another liquid word. The people spill outside into the street. There's too many, so overflowing fits very well here. The local pubs are overflowing with people. There's too many, so they go outside. That's the idea here. Okay. Diego, next paragraph.
Until the o'clock?
Until the period here.
Okay. I go to the stadium early and watch the people slowly. I don't know.
Slowly is the key here.
Yeah, slowly streaming in.
No, okay. Uh, well, a stream, okay, if you can imagine a stream like a small river, it's constantly moving.
Yeah, yeah.
You could, okay, streaming in, but streaming in, when we use this in a more idiomatic way, it kind of, streams tend to go fast and constant. The idea is constantness, continuous. All right, slowly. All right, I think I would choose probably trickling, because the idea of trickling, used in this way more abstractly, the idea is more slowly instead of constant. So probably use trickling here. And that gives away the next one. Roger?
Yeah, but by about 2 o'clock, there's a constant stream of people coming in, and the stadium starts to fill up.
There you go. Well, I gave it away by talking about constant. That's right. A constant stream of people. It doesn't stop. There's no breaks. All right. When people trickle in, they come in twos and threes, and then an 8, and then 2, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2. That's a kind of a trickling in. Constant, there's a constant. There's just a line. There's a queue. That's a stream of people. It's like looking at a stream. The people never stop. There's no breaks. Okay, Diego?
Yeah. And occasionally people seem to arrive later than usual, and everybody, maybe I can use the stream in 15 minutes before the game starts.
Well, the whole idea of this paragraph is first they come in slowly, they trickle in, and then there's a constant stream, and then suddenly all the people that were outside the stadium drinking all want to go in at the same time, 15 minutes before the game starts. Okay, so trickling slowly, streaming fast and steady, and then finally a whole lot at once, I would say, pours in. Everybody pours in 15 minutes before the game starts. Okay? They all come in very fast all together. Okay. Okay, let me welcome May or Mai.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. How about you? Sorry, because I want to introduce my friend about our class, so I am here so late.
Oh, that's okay. No problem.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to start? Would you like to start helping us with the exercise?
Now I have to start now.
It's okay. We'll let you catch up a little bit. All right. We'll let you get settled. Okay, Roger. I'm gonna go back to you.
Okay. When it's full, all you can see is a sea of 50,000 faces.
Indeed. Very common idiomatic idea or expression, a sea of people. It means a lot of people. Thousands and thousands of people is a sea of people. Definitely very common idea. Okay, Diego? All right, next paragraph.
It always amazes me how quickly the stadium empties at the end of the game. Everybody out of the exit into the streets, and 10 minutes after the game has finished, the place is almost empty. I'm a little confused with the use of the word stream.
Okay. Well, okay.
Because I don't know we can use the stream in that case, or
Well, okay. Streams out of the exits. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's possible. Yes,
it's
you could use
possible
it here. Sure.
because you say that is a way to say that is usually a say that kind of work, but the people
Well,
move so fast, maybe into
well,
a place to another.
I really think the idea of constant is the idea when we use stream in an idiomatic way. Constant, steady. A steady group of people. Not slow, not fast, just constant. I think that's really the idea to concentrate on when you're thinking about stream. It could, I mean, the sentence makes perfect sense. Everybody streams out of the exit onto the streets.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a constant flow of people. But because of the sentence before, it amazes me how quickly the stadium empties out at the end of the game. That, to me, doesn't really, if they're streaming out, they're just slowly, steadily leaving the stadium. In actuality, they're all running for the exits, like ka-splash, like a giant wave of people. Okay, so I think okay, there's it's maybe they flood. Maybe everybody floods out of the exits onto the streets because everybody's going at the same time. That's what happens in a flood. All the water comes at once. All right. You could interchange many of these, and still be understood. It wouldn't be wrong to say everybody streams out of the exits, everybody pours out of the exits, everybody floods out of the exits. Any of those would actually be fine. All right. But a flood of people is a lot of people all at once. I don't know what happened. Suddenly there was a flood of people at the doors to the restaurant waiting for them to open. Okay, it just builds up very quickly. All right. And anyway, from occasionally, Mai? Did you try the last one here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Occasionally, there's trouble with fans from opposing teams to hear shouting, and there's a sudden
Something in the crowd.
Okay. There are sudden. So.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, it may help. It may help to look at the next part. There's a sudden something in the crowd. Okay.
Can you pull out the words in the words of power? I want to see the new words of power again.
Okay. There's a sudden something in the crowd as the people behind you try to escape the trouble. All right. So people are pushing other people. There's people trying to escape trouble. If you can imagine, there's a crowd of people, a flood of people, and suddenly there's like a wave of people pushing against the others.
Stream.
No,
Stream.
a stream is like a very small river, so not a small river. If you can imagine a large crowd of people, thousands of people all stuck together, and suddenly somebody starts shooting a gun in the middle of this crowd of people, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is everyone's going to start running and pushing and shoving. There's going to be a wave of people, like a giant wave coming in from the beach. Okay? That wave is going to push through the crowd. So the answer here is surge. Surge. A surge is a sudden push. Like, again, a storm surge when there's a typhoon or a hurricane, that giant storm will push a massive big wave onto the beach. A very forceful wave, okay? So this is a forceful wave of people out of control, just destroying things in their way. All right, that's the idea.
Okay.
A surge, okay. A surge can refer to water, a crowd of people. You can have an electrical surge, all right? That's why we need to have grounds in our electrical appliances and such, because electricity is not perfectly even. It doesn't come from the electrical company absolutely perfectly even all the time. Sometimes there is a surge of power. When there's a surge of power, it may cause your breakers to go off. It can. A giant surge of power, like a lightning bolt hitting your house, could blow up your computer and your television and so forth. That's a surge, a sudden rush of something. You can feel a surge of energy after drinking a liter of black coffee. Okay. You can feel a surge of energy, a sudden push of energy. That's the idea. And looking at the last note here, swamp. I mentioned swamp before. You can say your town has been swamped by refugees. I can say I am swamped at work. Swamped means too much of something. Yes. If you're swamped at work, that's a very, very common expression to talk about work. It means you have a lot to do, way too much to do. Okay, we're going to move on. Hello, Nader. How are you? Welcome to the class. Nader, hello, how are you? Okay, I don't know. All right. We're going to do some more fill-in-the-blank exercises with, again, some more water or liquid-related words. Nader, are you there? Yes? No? Okay. Roger, I guess back to you for the moment. You start us off with number one.
Okay. I started my reading speech with a joke. It worked. There was a ripple of laughter across the room, and then I started to relax. That was easy because
Yeah, right. Here it is.
He wasn't the example, so
Yeah.
so easy.
Okay.
It's not fair, isn't it?
That's not fair. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Common idiomatic expression: a ripple of laughter. Okay. It spreads out. Okay. May, are you there?
Yes.
Would you mind muting your microphone when you're not talking? I can hear all the people talking behind you. It's a little distracting. Thank you.
Sorry, because I am in the coffee now, so maybe there was many noisy.
Right. So just mute your microphone when you're not talking. So please, if you wouldn't
Okay,
mind.
I will concentrate on our lesson.
Okay, you just need to mute your microphone, all right? At the top of the screen, there's a microphone icon. You can just click that. There you go. That's it. You had it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Diego, number 2, please.
Okay, the government has to find a way to stem the tide of refugees who are now floating across the border in their thousands.
Wow. Okay, stem the tide. Okay, there you go. That's the
Finally, I can use the tide.
right. That is correct. Stem the tide. Okay, this idiom. Okay, something that's you're trying to cut off or slow down something that's happening, something that's a big thing that's happening. Stem the tide of. It could be something even more abstract. Stem the tide of. Let's see. Stem the tide of moral moral inadequacy. Stem the tide of war is very common. Stem the tide of immoral activity on the internet. I don't know.
Excuse me, the tide of war?
Yeah. Sure. War seems to spread. It starts in a small area and it spreads out. Yeah. So stem the tide of war. Is
So
very
it became to a tide of war, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, Mike, go ahead and unmute yourself and try number 3, please.
Okay. You make a quiet splash if you go to the company party with that price on. It doesn't leave much to the imagination.
Very good. You'll make quite a splash, all right? You'll be very popular. You'll get a lot of attention. If you make a splash, that's basically it. You become quickly popular and you gain a lot of attention. What does it mean that her dress doesn't leave much to the imagination? Well, there you go.
That is a tiny dress.
That's it exactly. Yeah. Here you go. Here's her picture. All right. Woo-hoo! Okay. Sexy cartoon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. That's a very common phrase, by the way, that it leaves little to the imagination. Okay. You don't have to imagine because you can see it. Okay. Roger, how about number 4 here?
You can't expect David to do anything about the problem. He's far too... what are the options? Sorry. He's far too...
Wow.
No,
what's the rest? He avoids all sorts.
He's far too...
Huh? Actually, I don't really.
Dry up.
I don't really get this one.
Dry up.
I don't really get this one either. He's far too dried up. That seems weird.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know either. Maybe dried up. Okay, that could be. All right. Maybe very British here. He's far too dried up. Possibly. Someone's dried up there. I guess. I don't get this one. As an American, I know what fits, and I know what I would say. It is related to water, but I would say
washing your hands.
Wishy-washy. If someone is wishy-washy, they won't make a decision. So I don't quite get this one myself. It's weird. He's far too wet.
Teacher, that wishy-washy is related to that, to like washing your hands to
Yeah, it is.
free yourself of all responsibilities and.
Right, that's the idea. Very good. Yeah. Right. So maybe he's far too wet. I don't know. Let's see if we can figure it out by process of elimination. Somehow I missed this when I previewed it. Okay, maybe we'll come back. We'll have to figure it out another way. Diego, how about number 5?
I'm an easygoing sort of person. I don't usually complain. I just go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. Very common
Yeah.
expression. Just
It's a usually common expression, isn't it?
yeah,
Isn't
it's
it?
very common. Go with the flow. All right. You don't argue things. You just do whatever everybody else is doing. Yeah. All right. You don't argue about things or try to change anyone's mind. You just do what everyone's doing. Mai, how about number 6?
Yes. Our teacher has 12 permanent teachers and a trip of about 20 temporary teachers. We use them in the busy summer months.
Okay.
The word may be drip.
No, not a drip of temporary teachers. You have people that you can call when you need them. All right. Okay, so
Flow.
like reserves. No, not flow. Actually, does it? Roger, Diego, you have an idea? Can you help out Mai here? No? Okay. All right, the answer is a pool of people. And a pool.
Like a pool of lawyers.
Yeah, it means a group. We often talk about, a good example may be our company wants to expand to Las Vegas, but there's not much of a labor pool. A labor pool, all right, people that we could potentially hire. Labor pool is a very common collocation. Right, a pool of lawyers would be a team of lawyers. All right, a whole bunch of people. Okay, so a pool of temporary teachers, they can use them if they need to. It's like a reservoir, actually. A reservoir is something you have that you can use if you need it. A reservoir of water, of course, is stored water you can use as you need it. A pool of employees or temporaries is, okay, they're stored. They're your reservoir of labor. Okay, Roger, how about number 7?
Come on and dance. It's fun. Don't be such a wet.
No, but close.
So drip.
Don't be such a drip. Okay, yeah. This is just a derogatory term. Somebody's a drip or similar, also having to do with water. If you're a wet blanket, okay, you don't want to go have fun. You're a wet blanket, you're ruining the party, you're just sitting here. If you're a wet blanket, oh no, don't do that, you'll break the furniture. Oh no, why do you want to buy more beer? Don't do that. People will get too drunk. You're being a wet blanket. You're being a drip. You're being a party pooper. You're just being no fun. Okay, and you're not only that, but you're trying to make everybody else have less fun as well. Don't be a drip. Okay, and last of all, Diego. Well, not last of all. In this section, yeah.
For an unknown reason, few people are studying mathematics at university these days. Not surprisingly, the number of new math teachers applying for jobs is slowly starting to wet.
He's slowly starting to
Wet.
no, here we have, okay, dry up.
Okay, but
sure. So as I suspected, that other one was wet. The number of new math teachers is slowly starting to dry up. That makes sense. It's becoming less and less. The resource or the pool of possible math teachers is drying up. We have less of a reservoir or reserve of people.
So it's better to say that the teacher is starting to dry up.
Yeah, that's right. So definitely, if something's drying up, resources dry up. Not just water, but any resources. Your labor pool may dry up. Okay, due to floods and horrible weather, the supply of rice is drying up. It's not water, it's rice, but nevertheless, it's becoming less and less. The reserve. So that means, as I suspected, back in number 4, you can't expect David to do anything about the problem. He's far too wet. He avoids all sorts of decisions. Okay, so this has got to be very, very British because I've never heard this before in my life, and I'm an American. I've never heard anybody say that. I've definitely heard wishy-washy. Someone who won't actually make a decision is wishy-washy. Okay, quick review. We've only got 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, let's see how many of the idioms you can remember by looking at them and seeing if you can remember the co-location. What words co-locate or go with these words? My? You weren't here for a good part of the class, so you might not be able to get it, but maybe we can get some help. Why do you know this one? A sudden... Actually, you might get this one. You were here for this part. Why? Are you there? No? Okay. Roger, a sudden... beep.
A sudden...
something of people, for example.
A sudden stream of people. Oh.
There again with stream. Stream, slow, steady. Well, slow or fast, but steady is the key word. Steady, constant. A sudden, probably this is a sudden surge. Okay, sudden, a surge of electricity, a surge of people, a surge of energy. All right, I drank 2 liters of coffee and I had a sudden surge of energy. Okay.
So what it means is that sudden match normally with the word
That's right.
surge.
That's right. It's a co-location. That's right. A common co-location. Although it's a bit redundant. A surge means a sudden movement, so a sudden movement. Okay. How about number 2, Diego? Make a...
I don't know.
Make an I don't know.
No.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. You might make a blank in the music industry if you have a hit #1 single. Okay. Roger, any idea? Make a splash. All right. You make a splash. You make a sudden impression on a lot of people. All right. We only got a minute left, so whoever can get it can get it. Throwing it out to the class. Go with the what? Who knows? Diego, Roger, go with the.
With the third. Go.
Yeah. Probably go with the flow.
With the flow, yeah.
Go with the flow. What about number 4?
I know the 4.
Right. Yeah, you did. A what of laughter?
A ripple.
Yeah, okay, you got it that time.
At last.
At last,
oh my
okay.
God.
Number 5, a something or something of people. Wow, that could be anything. That's a stupid one.
Yeah, it couldn't be anything.
Yeah, that could be anything. That's ridiculous. All right, number 6, a what of faces?
Sea of faces.
Sea of faces, good. Number 7, stem the.
The tide.
Stem the tide. Okay. Something out of the stadium. I'm not sure what that is. Stream out of the stadium. Surge out of the stadium. Never mind. In any case, we are out of time. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for helping me out with the class. I hope you learned a little something, a few idioms at least. Or some.
Yeah, it's a new vocabulary for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. Terrific. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.